All right, let's dive right into it, huh? This weekend, Premier League.
Yeah.
Huge clash coming up. Manchester United versus Brighton. And thankfully, we've got some great insights to help us break it all down. Sarah and Mike, welcome to the show. Manchester United, kind of, they had a rough start this season, but seem to be finding their form now. That 3-1 comeback against Southampton, I mean, talk about grit.
Oh, absolutely. They really, really dug deep for that win. It shows, I think a lot about their mentality. They're not giving up easily anymore. But Brighton's no slouch either. Ending their 8-game winless streak with that 2-0 against Ipswich. Very, very disciplined performance. It's going to be a real tactical battle, that's for sure.
Yeah, Brighton's defense has been, really tough to break down, but that issue of set pieces, that could be an opportunity for Manchester United, right?
Oh, for sure. Thinking back to that goal Ipswich scored against them a few weeks back, from a corner textbook example, they struggle with those high balls into the box. If Manchester United can figure out how to exploit that, it could be really interesting.
Well, and speaking of exploiting weaknesses, let's talk about the players, right?
Yeah.
The ones who can just, really change the game. For Manchester United, Amad Diallo, he's on fire right now. That hat trick last week. Wow. How do you think Brighton's going to try and contain him?
Well, I think the real danger with Diallo is his movement, right? When he's off the ball, he finds those pockets of space between the lines, and his finishing. It's been clinical. I think Brighton will probably try to double team him, or maybe even a dedicated man marker, just try and disrupt his rhythm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And on the other side, Brighton's João Pedro. 5 goals, 5 assists this season. That's impressive.
Yeah, and it's not just the goals with Pedro, it's the way he creates chances. He's averaging, almost 3 key passes a game. Manchester United's defense, they better be ready. Whenever he's on the ball, anything could happen.
So, yeah, we've got some really exciting, potentially explosive individual matchups.
Yeah.
But zooming out a bit, how do you see sort of the overall tactical battle playing out? We know Manchester United loves to control possession, but can they break down Brighton's very well-organized defense?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Manchester United, they'll probably try to dominate possession, move the ball around patiently, wait for an opening. But Brighton, they're going to press high, try to force those turnovers, in dangerous areas. They want to get the ball back and hit fast on those counterattacks.
Yeah, those counterattacks can be, devastatingly effective. Like, look at Ipswich, right? Both of Brighton's goals, straight off those breaks.
Exactly. Their average transition time, defense to attack, it's under 10 seconds, it's just lightning fast. And once they're going forward, they're so efficient. Over 50% of their counterattacks end with a shot on goal. Manchester United's defense, they can't afford to switch off for a second.
So it sounds like we've got ourselves a classic clash of styles brewing here. Manchester United with their methodical possession game versus Brighton, who wants to play, high energy counterattacking football.
It's fascinating. And honestly, either team could win this one. It's Manchester United if they can wear Brighton down, But those counterattacks, if they can exploit any gaps, who knows?
It really does feel like one of those, classic boxing matches, right? Manchester United, they're like with all the possession, all the precise passing, they're like the technical boxers just wearing you down with jabs.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good analogy. And then you've got Brighton just waiting to unleash that knockout counterpunch, but to kind of, stretch that analogy a little bit. Brighton's not just a one-trick pony. Their build-up play can get pretty intricate, drawing the opponent in and then bam, exploiting the space they create. Like you saw it against Ipswich. That first goal beautifully worked, started all the way back in their own half.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about how fast they are on the counter. It's the movement, the intelligence, the way they can just like shift gears, from patient to explosive just like that. Do you think that makes them even more dangerous against a team like Manchester United who might be expecting a more straightforward counterattacking approach?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Manchester United might be thinking, okay, Brighton's going to sit back, absorb the pressure, but Brighton has shown they can take the initiative, they can set the tempo. That could really throw Manchester United off.
So how do you think, like, the managers, how are they going to approach this tactical challenge?
Oh, the managers, they're key in this one. For Manchester United, it's all about making sure his players stay patient,
Yeah.
disciplined, especially when they have the ball. Can't get frustrated if Brighton's defense is holding strong. Just got to keep that ball moving, look for those weaknesses, wait for the right moment.
And what about Brighton's manager? What's going to be the main focus there?
Belief. I think that's the big thing for him. They're going into this one as the underdogs, away from home against, I mean, come on, Manchester United, that attacking firepower. So he needs to make sure his players are confident, ready to embrace the challenge. And don't forget, they beat Manchester United already this season at Old Trafford in the EFL Cup. So they know it can be done.
Yeah, that's right. That EFL Cup win, that's a huge point. It's proof that Brighton has what it takes, the quality, the tactical smarts to get a result against Manchester United.
Exactly. And they rested several key players in that match. I mean, that just shows you the depth they have, the flexibility. This Brighton side, they're more than just a counterattacking team.
So we've got two really smart managers, two teams with contrasting styles, but both effective, and a recent history that tells us this could go either way.
Yeah.
And I'm even more excited to see how this all plays out now.
Oh, me too. And don't forget about all the individual battles we're going to see all over the pitch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has the potential to be a fireworks kind of match. Where do you see the most intriguing player matchups?
Well, midfield, that's going to be key, right? Manchester United's midfielders, very technical, good at controlling the pace of the game. But Brighton's midfield, those guys are known for their work rate,
Right.
winning the ball back. Whoever wins that battle, that's going to be huge.
And then you've got, the battle between Manchester United's backline and those Brighton attackers so fast. If Brighton can get those guys running in behind, oh boy, it could be a long day for Manchester United.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Quick, skillful, always looking to make those runs. Those center backs, they better be on their toes. That's all I can say. And don't forget about Evan Ferguson, Brighton striker. He can score with his head too. Several headers already this season.
So Manchester United can't just be focused on shutting down those counterattacks. They got to be thinking about Brighton's aerial threat as well.
Exactly. Brighton, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they know they can beat Manchester United. They've done it before this season.
It really feels like we've just scratched the surface here of this whole tactical, chess match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all about the contrasting styles and who can adapt better, who has that mental edge.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've both given us, score predictions and everything, but I'm curious, beyond the numbers, what's your gut feeling about this match?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting, right? It's those intangible things, the heart, the desire, the will to win.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Sir, let's start with you. What are the key factors that could, really swing the game in one team's favor?
For Manchester United, I think it's all about confidence, momentum. If they come out strong, if they can impose their game early, Brighton might have a hard time.
Right.
But if Brighton can weather that storm, if they can frustrate Manchester United, those doubts, they can start to creep in.
Right, right, because Brighton has shown, they're a resilient team. They're tactically disciplined. They're not gonna just, fall apart.
Exactly. That Ipswich win, it was a perfect example. Under pressure, they stayed composed, they hit back when they needed to.
Okay, Mike, what about you? What's the X factor for you in this match?
The benches, that's what I'm looking at. How do the managers react, as the game unfolds? Do they make the right substitutions to change the momentum? Do they stick to the plan or do they adapt? I think those in-game decisions, those adjustments, they could be huge.
So it's not just about, who starts the match. It's about the depth of the squad, the tactical flexibility.
Exactly. I mean, remember, Brighton beat Manchester United in the EFL Cup, right? And they rested some key players for that one. It shows you how strong that squad is, and how good the manager is at adapting.
Wow. Okay. Well, it sounds like this one could be a real nail biter with all the momentum swings and the tactical adjustments. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the Premier League, right? You never know what's going to happen. Two great teams, different strengths, and they both can win. It's fantastic.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Hmm.
Don't just watch for the goals, okay? Watch the buildup, the defense, how the managers are reacting. Really pay attention to how each team is trying to impose their will and how the other team responds. It's going to be fascinating.
That's it. That's the beauty of football right there. All the little details, tactical battles, the ebb and flow. So yeah, enjoy the match, everybody, and let us know what you see.